TED Talks, brought to you by Erbs and Gerbs. Go online and check out their delightful sandwich menus and soups. Order yourself something today.
Ted Swetzler here at TL Shores on Twitter from Twins Daily. Call it the end of the season, end of the regular season check-in here as the Twins end their home regular season on Thursday with a 2-1 loss against the A's, game that they really did not care about or need. Minnesota ends up winning this series again. The only series that they have lost so far in September was that 3-game series, the second homestand of the month to Tampa Bay. However, they've taken every other series this month. They will go to Colorado for 3 Friday, Saturday, Sunday before coming home and hosting the 3-game wild card series. The Twins really don't care and should not care about that Rockies series. Joe Ryan will go on Friday. Bailey Ober will go on Sunday. That Saturday game will be a bullpen matchup. Honestly, if the Twins could keep the bulk of their starters from even traveling to Colorado, it would probably be a good thing just to avoid the altitude, keep guys fresh, healthy. Carlos Correa, who is eligible to be activated on Saturday, will not make that trip. He'll continue to do sim games and work back here at Target Field. Byron Buxton obviously will not come off the IL prior to that. Royce Lewis would be eligible to play on Sunday, October 1st, but will not make that trip either. Those three are the big keys from a postseason roster standpoint and looking at what Rocco Baldelli will do there. The pitching decisions have already been made. Pablo Lopez will go game 1. Sonny Gray will go game 2. Joe Ryan will be the game 3 starter. Kenta Maeda has moved to the bullpen. A lot of the bullpen spots are figured out. Whether or not Minnesota brings a long man, I would imagine they probably will not use someone like Dallas Keuchel. Louis Varland, Kenta Maeda are both in the bullpen. They are stretched out enough that, if they needed to cover a couple innings, they could certainly do that. But Minnesota will host that 3-game wild card series at Target Field Tuesday through Thursday next week. The assumption would probably be that they will host Houston. However, the AL West is still an absolute mess. Texas is leading by 2.5 games. They are probably the least likely team to come to Target Field. Both Toronto and Seattle could end up coming to Target Field as well. Personally, I think avoiding the reigning World Series champs and just an organization that is such a well-oiled machine in Houston would be the optimal situation. From there, Toronto or Seattle, I think Minnesota could pick their poison and beat both. As far as the guys not certain about the roster, I think Carlos Correa at this point is a certainty. Royce Lewis, I would say, is also a certainty, but I think it's less certain as to whether or not he will play third base. I could see them using him as their designated hitter. Byron Buxton's made a pretty significant push to be included on the roster. Has talked with Rocco Baldelli, has talked with the front office. He has been out since early August with a hamstring injury, but he's also been dealing with that knee problem really since last year. If he can't play the outfield, I think his opportunity or options to make the roster are substantially limited. He just hasn't hit down the stretch. Him being a DH is not a viable thing. Coming off the bench as a runner really isn't a thing if he can't play the field. I don't hate it as a potential right-handed bat that could come in and you just hope he runs into one, even though the results haven't been there. But ideally, yeah, if he could play the field, that's really what you want to see from him. I would still like to see Andrew Stevenson somehow squeak his way onto the roster just as a running threat. And I think the Twins will probably end up carrying 11 pitchers, so 8 bullpen arms, and go with 15 position players. It will be interesting to see how that comes all together. I would imagine a lot of those decisions will be made on Monday the 2nd during the Twins workout day. The game time should be decided at some point on Sunday, probably Sunday night. I would imagine the Twins will play a day game at least Tuesday, if not Wednesday as well. But they are looking for that first win since 2004 in the playoffs. It should come this year. Kyle Farmer has said it'll come. Ryan Jeffers has said it'll come. And Rocco Baldelli's team really does not care about what teams previously have done or guys long time ago have done or whatever. This team has pitching. It has a lineup that can get the job done. They could make noise in October, especially if they get out of that first round. So we will check back next week.